is Friday Night Live Improv from New York City. And we got a delightful cast of actors, and I was going to say cast of characters, but they'll be characters for you. Don't you worry. We're going to get our evening of improv started for you with a good old-fashioned conducted story. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to all work together to tell you a single story, which would be, I think, difficult itself. But we're going to make it a little bit more difficult. Each person, as you can see on their names, they have a different genre that they're going to tell this story in. So we all tell a single story, but in all sorts of different genres. I'm going to let the actors introduce themselves and tell you what genre they are going to be doing. Let's start with Sandi.
Self-help.
Nice. Don.
Science fiction.
Stephanie, what are you doing?
Diet fad.
So am I. Mark.
Western.
Yes, sir. Anya?
Classical literature.
Oh, typecasting. How classy. Taylor, what are you doing?
I'll be doing poetry.
Yes, you will. And finally, Pamela, what are you up to?
Reader's Digest.
It's an old reference. It's like the Red Book or Good Housekeeping. Reader's Digest. I love it. All right, and the story that we are going to tell tonight is called Corey and Carrie go to the police station with their sloth. Corey and Carrie go to the police station. Good sloth, Sandi. With their sloth. If we are ready, then let us begin. We start with Mark.
One day, Corey and Carrie were just hanging out in their sweet log cabin right down by the tracks. They had a wonderful, wonderful little pet named Samantha, and Samantha was a sloth.
Good. Over to you, Anya.
And sloth was beautiful. It was the most beautiful creature ever created. And they loved her immensely. So much so that often they forgot that they exist, because the only thing that existed for them was sloth.
Excellent. Over to you, Pamela.
Once upon a time, there was a boyfriend and girlfriend, Corey and Carrie. They had a sloth. They loved the sloth. Then one day, stuff got wild. They had a wild night, drank a lot, ran over the sloth, and they all lived unhappily ever after.
Oh, great. Over to you, Taylor.
When once they did run over their sloth, they grieved and grieved and grieved a lot. After gently raising Samantha from the ground, they got in their car and went to town.
Excellent. Over to you, Stephanie.
And they took Samantha the sloth, who was bleeding out from its very heavy body, because they never put this sloth with the right diet. They always just let it eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. So the sloth was quite heavy, although cute for a sloth. And they put it in the back seat, and they got their bodies into the car. And I don't know why, but they stopped for ice cream on the way.
Good. Over to you, Sandi.
Ice cream can help you find your inner aura. And everyone needed to have that inner aura. Corey and Carrie, they had this dead sloth, and it was devastating to them. However, they were drunk. They have no recollection. They need to find a way to forgive themselves.
Good. Over to Don.
So Corey and Carrie, they drunk their last little bit of a capsule of moisture that would actually make their mouth feel a little bit better. And they look out the porthole and they see actually ship number 5432, which is actually renamed Samantha the Sloth. They're going, Samantha's here. This is great. And then they look closer and they see it's the space police. That's right. They run and they get their parapet.
Good, Pamela.
And basically, they decided why not go to space. So Corey and Carrie got in the spaceship with their dead sloth, Samantha, and they went for a road trip to Mars.
Excellent. Anya.
And so they lift their bodies way high up on the merit of the will, and Sloth was next to them, bleeding, making herself lighter and lighter so it could lift them higher and higher. And as the blood was pouring down, so their souls were soaring up, going towards the police station.
Excellent. Over to you, Taylor.
Their souls now free, Samantha now dead. What were they thinking? What was in their head? They were in a ship going to Mars. Is that the truth? I don't know. Let's ask Lars.
Good. Over to you, Sandy.
Mars, the red and green planet. The red and green, opposite sides of the color wheel, but needed for healing. Forgiveness did not come easily as they were bathed in the blood of Samantha.
Good. Mark.
All over them.
Now, Lars was a mean son of a bitch. He had 2 big old 6-shooters that he carried with him everywhere he went. And you just knew you better not get on the wrong side of this man, because he will take you out. He'll take you out to Mars. He'll take you to Venus. He'll take you to Jupiter.
Good.
And
Over to you, Don.
That was a mean mother, that space police guy who looks like he might have been from Tennessee in the 20s or something like that. Sure enough, I thought we were done for, right, Corey? When I ended up taking out my phaser number 405, and he took out a 6-shooter, which looked more like a stratospheric combustor. I didn't even know what it was.
Good. Over to you, Stephanie.
And as they took that pill that on that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 trip, which they thought was a spaceship, and the bloody Samantha Sloth was in driving, as they were driving to the police station, you wouldn't believe what happened. They couldn't get out of the car because their bellies were too big. They couldn't get out of the car. I'm telling you, these people, they need to stick, Corey and Carrie need to stick to the diets.
Good. Over to you, Sandy.
Stick-to-itiveness is not their strength. As we say, your mantra, Corey and Carrie, stick to it. Stick to it.
Over to you, Don.
Well, the hyperbola was looking particularly bad that day. They were thinking, are we going to get back to Earth? Are we ever going to be able to leave the gravity of Mars?
Good. Over to you, Stephanie. Stephanie, please.
They were on this trip. It felt like they were in Mars. It felt like there were red and green lights all around them. They were just so excited because they didn't realize they were walking into a police station drunk. What was going to happen next?
Good. Mark.
Dead.
they walked up in this police station carrying their wonderful, wonderful, wonderful pet that was dead. Sweet Samantha, and they were all drunk. They had just came from the saloon, messing with Lars. Lars was hot on their heels, by the way, mind you.
Excellent. Anya.
So it was to the last moment of that experience, way up in the police station with Lars zooming over them, they knew they found their destiny.
Excellent. Pamela.
And the police officers looked at them and they said, you guys are under arrest.
And Taylor for our prologue.
The moral of the story is really quite simple. Be very, very careful when you drink dipple. Also, it's important to note that a sloth moves slowly, so it may not be dead.
Indeed. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. Hey, we're going to be back with more improv in just a couple of minutes. And every time we go live, if you follow Scotty Watson Improv, you'll get a notification that we're live. So we're going to be back in about 2-3 minutes. So you hang around, and more fun is ahead. Thanks, guys. Great. That was great. Yay.
Yay.